Hi everyone! It's going to be a very ranty video. I also apologise if I have weird shadows on my face. It's just that I do not have time to set all my camera and lighting up as per usual lately, and the sun is at a really weird angle in the sky and it's just like imprinting my neck curtains onto my face. And you know, that's just the vibe I'm going with. Today I want to give you two rants because there are two reasons that I am monumentally annoyed today. The first is that you may remember I talked about whether or not I might be entering perimenopause because I am constantly shattered and I am emotional and I'm having all these kind of reactions to temperature. So I was like, okay, maybe it's time to go get checked. And so I went and I had some blood taken, and over a week ago I phoned the doctor's surgery and asked for those results of the blood tests, and they told me, yes Miss Tofi, we have your results in and one of them has some unusual results and you're going to need to come in and speak to the doctor about what it means and your treatment options. You'll need to do that face to face and you're on a waiting list and we'll call you or text you when an appointment becomes available. Naturally, I didn't panic. I mean, I need to start planning my funeral because I'm definitely going to die. But like I said, that was over a week ago. And when you know, okay, something unusual is going on and it points to a medical problem that you may need treatment for, you expect to get that appointment to see your doctor to discuss it, you know, within days. But no, I didn't hear anything until a couple of days ago when they sent me a text and were like, we've got an appointment for you to discuss what's wrong on the 7th of March. I got that text on, if I remember correctly, the 22nd of February. So I have to wait another fortnight and that just feels, ugh. I mean, successive Tory governments have completely crippled our NHS, and deep down I know my anger should be with them and not the hardworking GPs who probably have a lot of appointments to slog through and have had nothing but budget cuts and a lack of support. But you know, I try not to be too political on this channel. In an effort to try and sort this shadowy situation going on, I have slightly moved and it's not working. My second reason for ranting is that there are people on this planet who are really unpleasant. I realise that's not going to be news to anyone who's, you know, met people. But today I had an incident that made me want to go and punch a wall or a person, but that would get me arrested. So my mum and I were walking our dog, Rusty, and he was approaching a turning for a little cul-de-sac-y type road, and there was a grass verge that leads onto a garden, and he suddenly, our dog is like kind of routine about where he poos. TMI, I know, but you know, he's a dog of habit. There are certain grass verges he will deliberately hold on for, and this one is not one of them. But he suddenly yanked my mum's arm and like just stopped on this verge and did his business, and we were like, oh, you don't normally go here. My mum cleaned it up really quickly because we are responsible dog owners and we would never, ever, ever leave poo for anyone to tread in, or, you know, certainly not if it was approaching someone's lawn. And as we were walking to turn and go away, the man who lived in that house near this front lawn came out and just started yelling at us. It was full on, why are you letting your dog poo there? Not only did he come out shouting already, but he also had like a rolled up dog lead in his hand, which he kept sort of like pointing at us. And we were like, are we being threatened with this? What's he going to do? Whip us? I'm quite good in these situations because my dad is amazing in these situations, and he has always taught me and my sister how to respond, which is to keep your calm, for as long as is possible and try and diffuse the situation. So both me and my mum were like, oh, we're really sorry. We're so sorry. He would never normally go there. He just randomly stopped. There was nothing we could do, but we have cleaned up. So, you know, no harm done. There's nothing left. We've got it all in a bag. We're going to go and put it in a bin. But that was not enough for this man. This man continued to yell at us. Like, there was no drop in volume at all. He told us he was sick of people like us. And it just went on and on and on. And after a while, I actually said to him, excuse me, could you stop being so aggressive, please? Because he was still jabbing with this lead and shouting at full volume. And we were like, the situation's dealt with. So yeah, I was like, can you stop being so aggressive, please? And he was like, I'm not being aggressive. I mean, you kind of are, aren't you? You're kind of being quite aggressive, and you need to stop. But he didn't. He continued to shout, and in the end, I was like, listen, the dog did a poo somewhere he probably shouldn't have done a poo. He did it out of nowhere. He just stopped and went. We've cleaned it up. We're going to go now. That's the end of this conversation. We've apologised and we've told you we'll try very hard to never let that happen again. End of conversation. And like a normal and sensible person who doesn't have anger issues at all, he yelled at us, this is not the end of the conversation! I mean, what more do you want me to say? Do you want to see the poo? This continued, and I said twice, we're going to walk away now because you're being over the top, you're being very aggressive. We're going to go. And every time he just carried on shouting. And in the end, I was like, come on, Mum. And we just started walking. And he literally shouted, I'm going to follow you and see where you live. And I'm going to let my dog poo on your garden. At this point, I realised I should have kept my cool for the entire exchange. But at this point, I was like, no. So I yelled back at him, fine, sue yourself. I don't care as long as you pick up after him, you stupid. Stop being such a. Yeah, I lost my temper. But you know, when you're shouting at me, my mum and my dog, that's gonna happen. Don't do it. We came home and told my dad what had happened, and my dad desperately wanted us to give him the address of this man so he could go round and politely have a word with him about not shouting at women in the street, particularly when they have apologised and no harm has actually been done in the long term. But we wouldn't let him because we were like, you know, you have a heart condition and this guy's an aggressive moron and I don't trust him not to try and punch you. So in the end, the only way my dad would let us not let him go and have a word with this guy was if we reported it to the police. Because after all, he did tell us he was going to follow us home to see where we lived after yelling at us in the street and jabbing this dog lead at us. So it was quite threatening and intimidating, and antisocial behaviour is a crime. So I've sent a report. I don't necessarily think anything will come of it, but as my dad pointed out, if he thinks it's okay to behave that way to you, he's probably behaved that way to other people who might not be as adept as you are at standing your ground and putting him in his place. So yeah, I'm not well and I don't know what is causing me to be not well. I'm stressed because people are stupid and just shout at you and are aggressive, and why? So yeah, I'm ranty today. I'm actually losing my voice because I'm ranting so much, and that's a bad thing because I'm going to do karaoke with Kirsty tomorrow and I want to be able to sing some tunes. So I'm going to go and rest my throat and, seethe some more. If you enjoyed this video and you want to give it a thumbs up, please feel free to do so. You can click on my floaty head up there if you'd like to subscribe, and last week's video is over there. I'm going to go because I'm also staring directly into the sun and I'm going to go blind. Bye!